Hello and welcome to another grade 4 maths lesson. This lesson is topic 12, lesson number 3, comparing decimals. So I hope at the end of this lesson you would understand how to compare decimals. When comparing decimals, we should always look at how big the number is after the decimal point. The greater the value in its respective place value, the greater the value of the decimal. For example, 0.11 is greater than 0.09. This is because when we look at the respective values in its respective value place, which means this tens place here and the tens place here, we can see that 1 is greater than 0. This is because when we divide each one with 100, because we've got hundredths, we divide each one with 100. So 11 divided by 100 is greater than 9 divided by 100. On page number 639, we can read the question that says, a penny made in 1982 weighs about 0.11 ounces. A penny made in 2013 weighs about 0.09 ounces. Which penny weighs more? If we look at the value places, ones, tens, and hundreds, we can see that there are no values to be placed in either one of those except for 0. The 0 we put there just makes it easier to see the decimal point. So after the decimal point on the right-hand side, you can see that 1 and 1, the tens and the hundreds. When we place the number 0.09 underneath it, we can clearly see that there's no value or smaller value in the tens place. And the hundreds, which means that 0.11 has the greater tens value. So it is the greater number. Another example to compare will be to compare 0.23 and 0.32. If we look at 0.23, we can see that we have to have 2 tens, 1, 2, and 3 hundredths, 1, 2, 3. And in the 0.32, we have to have 3 tens, 1, 2, 3, and 2 tenths, hundredths, 1, 2. This means that 0.23 is smaller than 0.32. Why? When we have a hundredths represented in this block, divided into tenths, divided into another tenth, which makes it a hundredth. You can see place value blocks to compare. Let's look at classwork. Do you understand? Psi says that 0.20 is greater than 0.2 because 20 is greater than 2. Do you agree? Explain your answer. Just to go back to our hundredths place. When we have a grid like this, we can color in the 10, 20, which represents the same as 0.2 because and 0.20. So we do not agree with him. Why? When I draw 20 hundredths and 2 tenths on the hundredths grid, the same amount is shaded on the grid. So 0.2 is equal to 0.20. Now, writing bigger than, smaller than, or equal in each of these blocks. Use a place value blocks or grids as needed to compare. When I look at number 2, I can see that the place value 7 is bigger than the number 5, which means that 0.7 is greater than 0.57. Number 3, I can see that the place value 4, or a fourth, is greater than a tenth, which means that 0.41 is greater than 0.14. When I look at the ones value, I know that 6 is smaller than 7. When I look at this number 1.1 is equal to 1.10. We just don't write the number 0 in there, which means that number 5 is equal then. For your independent practice, for number 6 to 14, write the numbers or the values in bigger than, smaller than, or equal in each of these circles. Use a place value blocks, grids, or number lines to help as needed. Which one is smaller? 0.01 or 0.1? So if I look at this, I can see that the place value, number 0.01, is smaller than 0.1. Number 7. If I look at number 7, I can see that the place value, the tenths, number 3, or the number 3, is bigger than the number 2. So 0.31 is bigger than 0.29. When I look at number 8, I can see that the place value 4 is bigger than number 2, which means that 0.44 is greater than 0.22. Number 9, I can see that the place value 1 is equal to 1. We just don't write the 0 there, which means that these two numbers are equal. When we look at money-wise, we can see at number 10, $2.98 and $2.56. The $2 are the same, so we go to the next one, place value, after the decimal point. We can see that the number 9 is greater than the number 5, which means that $2.98 is greater than $2.56. At number 11, these numbers look similar. So the place value 7 and 7 in the ones place are the same. So we have to go to the next place value, which is after the decimal point. The number 0 is clearly smaller than the number 1, which means that 7.1 is greater than 7.01. So 7.01 is smaller than 7.1. Well, that concludes our lesson for today, and I hope that you have learned something new. I hope that you can understand how decimals work and how to compare them.